All right, I'm back for 11 through 20. Um, so let's start. We got Navy at pick 11, and they took James Wolford, a defensive tackle. He looks like his overall base rating is a 2880. Um, he looks like a he's a little undersized at 287 pounds, but he'll probably grow pretty easy. He's a well-rounded guy. He's not elite, I would say. It almost looks like Navy needed a D lineman, and they wanted to get the safest possible pick or signee, and so they took a 18 volatility player because he's not the fastest with 68 speed, but that's not necessarily bad. I mean, 68 speed is still going to be solid. He's got 82 strength, so he's strong, but he's not elite. He's not an elite strong guy. 82 acceleration. His run defense and pass rush are 76 and 88 potential, and his tackle is 87. So while he's not necessarily maxed out like some of the guys that have went before, he's still an upper tier type of player, and he'll be a solid building block for that D line. They really needed to bolster that D line. They got ran through a couple times during the season, and they're trying to rebuild that D line. And I think Wolford will be a good building block piece for this team. I do think it's a safe pick, and so training camp won't be as tough on the staff, but they're kind of going to get what they got. There's no chance for this guy to become something like the other defensive tackle that went earlier, Wayne White out of Ole Miss. He's definitely not in that caliber, but I do like Wolford, especially when we're building teams without trading. You have to really hit on these picks, and so taking a low volatility guy sometimes is worth giving up a little bit, and so I think this is a good pick. And so now number 12 we got Arkansas, and here's this is Shandio, and I really think that due to such a deep DB class, there's some good wide receivers and good DBs at the top. It kind of allowed some certain positions to fall, and running back was one of them. And this was the best running back on the board, and that's Danny Kane. He's a 3386 base rating overall. A little bit heavy, 223, so if he could lose a little bit more weight, I think he'll even be faster. But as it is now, he's a 90 speed, which is still really good for this new code for a running back. He's got a 30 volatility, so this is another safer pick. And he actually has really good pass catching, which I really think is a good attribute to have with this new code, especially with teams blitzing. You see a lot of running backs get a lot of catches. You see your Doak Walker Award winner last year, Warfield, had over 1,000 yards receiving. And so having a running back with that kind of ability to catch the ball is really nice to have. Really good courage as well, so he'll catch in traffic. But as far as the ball carrying, he's got an 83 potential in ball carry, a 97 in break tackle, and 100 in void fumble, which is really awesome. Especially with a lot of the fumbling that we have in NCAA, it's nice to have a player that is going to be sure-handed eventually once he starts to mature. Really good pass blocker too, which can't be overlooked, especially when teams are bringing the heat. Having a running back think we can pick up the blitz is nice to have. And so I really like this pick, Danny King, solid pick. That is Arkansas. So now we'll move to Rutgers, who sweated this one out. I think it was pretty much well known that Rutgers needed help at quarterback, and they had from my sources I heard that Walker was the guy that they had targeted all along. So the fact that Johnson went earlier was actually a good thing for them. But Roy Walker, the quarterback, he's at 42.84 on base weights. And this is a little bit different player than Johnson. He's just as fast, but he's got great scramble, and so he's going to be a movement type of quarterback with a really good arm. He's got a cannon with a 91 strength. Not as good as intelligence with only a 79, so he won't be as good as picking up blitz reads, but still adequate enough that he'll be able to do it. The one aspect that I get nervous with this guy is his accuracy. He's a 65-82 accuracy, but having a 72 volatility allows this if he booms, then that accuracy potential could actually go up into the 90s by the end. So if he booms, I think Walker will be a stud. But if he doesn't boom and he actually goes down, that 82 potential for accuracy could actually seep down into the low 70s, which would really hamper his ability as a quarterback in a tough league. And so this is another risky pick. I think both the top two quarterbacks that we've seen, they offer a little bit different type of skill set, but both are equally as challenged as far as if they boom or bust in training camp. And he's a little bit different than Johnson in the fact that he is a fumbler. He's only a 20-28 as far as his potential, which is really low. And it's one of the reasons why I actually took him off my board, just because if you look at some of the quarterbacks around the league that had a low fumble, I remember Michigan. The Michigan quarterback was one of my Heisman hopefuls at the beginning of the year, but I failed to realize that his fumble rating was super low, and he ended up fumbling like 11 times in the first 3 games. And so that attribute often gets overlooked. And so Walker, it'll be interesting to see if he actually can overcome that deficiency of holding onto the ball, because if you're getting sacked, at a clip of 4 or 5 times a game, and you put the ball on the ground 1 or 2 of those times, it could be huge as far as winning games. And so while I like the player, I think that there are some question marks with Walker, and it's yet to be seen how he'll do in training camp to see if he's going to be an elite player or if he's going to flame out. All right, so next we got Kansas, and this is it's funny because I didn't expect the quarterbacks to go as fast as they did. That just kind of shows you the kind of league that we're in, where quarterback, it's getting to be like the NFL. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have nothing. And so I think that you're seeing that with some of these picks, and I do think that some of the quarterback picks have been reaches, and this one especially. I think that the Kansas Jayhawks. They reach for David Baker. He's a 45-81 on base weights, but I don't necessarily know how he's going to do in this league, just because he's got super low accuracy. He's a 65-73, but then again, he's got 66 volatility. So if he does boom, that 73 could rise up into the 80s. I still am wary of taking quarterbacks with low accuracy. That's just my personal viewpoint on it. He's got decent speed with 64, and he's got good scrambling with 95. So he'll be more mobile than the average quarterback, which is good. He's got good arm strength, 88, and good release and good intelligence. So he's a little bit more well-rounded as far as all the attributes than the other 2 quarterbacks. He just is not an accurate passer. And so while I think all 3 quarterbacks are similar in grades, each one offers a little bit different, and I think while the other 2 offer